What's up, social media world? It's gotten to the point that I decided I need to start either a TikTok or YouTube. So I'm gonna do either one. You could say the reasoning for this is I've acquired a lot of shit. Cool stuff though. I bought a dart, which isn't that cool in all perspective of things, back in 2020. And then a couple years later in 22, I bought my truck, and which is a Ram, so Mopar, no car. And then that winter, I bought a snowmobile because I needed something to do. And then later that spring, I bought a new motorcycle. I had two other ones. I had a Honda Shadow and a Z800, and I upgraded to a Z900. And in there, I bought a Harley, and I traded the Harley in for the Z900, and then later sold the Z8 because having two bikes was pointless. So it was kind of the shit for that 22. And last year, I bought a jet ski, a 2017 Spark, as you can see the nose of it here. We'll get into that later. And just this year in March, I bought a 2015 Challenger Scat Pack and decided I should start a channel and make content for you guys so you could see what I do with all my toys. Give you a little entertainment and see what happens. So I guess what we'll do is we'll go through, break down the cars, how many miles were on them when I got them, what they're up to now, what my plans are, and just go from there. So as you can see, this is my 2015 Challenger. It had 22,000 miles on it when I bought it, almost 23. And since then, it's got 24 and a half on it now. I added 2% tint, 5% on the sides, and then a 35 on the windshield. It's got the red, black Scat Pack interiors, Rumblebee on the seats, and it is a 6-speed. That was one of the things I was really wanting in a car for a long time. So I decided I'd make it happen with this one. Now, fun fact, the Carfax said it had 4 sets of tires on it by the time I got it. But all things considered, the last set they put on was a good set of Firestones. As you can imagine, that clutch had been put through some torture, so to speak. So I did some burnouts with it, had some fun with it. But all in all, this clutch, she wasn't looking too hot no more. Hot spots all the way around. Pretty tore up. So I decided I was gonna go with a McLeod dual disc kit. And let me tell you, she grabs way better, pulls way harder now that it's not a beat up clutch. It is a blast. As for the engine, it's typical with any 392 Hemi. Well, it has the 392 Hemi. And when I got it, I already had everything done. All I've done is add window tint and put the clutch in. And I did that myself. Pretty proud of that. The previous owner, though, they added $500 billet caps on this thing because they thought it'd be cool, even on the dipstick. And they also added a catch can, which that is a Speed Logics catch can. It's caught a few shots already. Then they also added a BBK throttle body, 85 millimeters. And she screams. She's a blast. And one thing that we noticed, I'm not gonna be able to see it on camera probably, but the ECU's got an X on it. So we all know what that means. She's tuned. Do we know what for? Nope. But whatever they did, it no longer has launch control. But she's still a fun car. We still rip on her. I guess next up, I'll show you my jet ski. Now I bought this, when did I buy this? I bought this last summer in July after going jet skiing with my buddy and realized how much I missed the river. So I bought it. Now, it is a 2017 Sea-Doo Spark. Now you may ask, well, why didn't you buy the Trix? The only advantage to the Trix is it's got the VTS trim module, adjustable handlebars, and some foot pegs in the back so you can stand on it easier when you're doing wheelies. And I figured, well, for another $2,000 or $3,000 less, I could just get a Spark. But the caveat was you had to be 2017 or newer to be able to just add the VTS, which is just that button module up there. It just plugs in. So I found a 17, good price, low hours. I think I bought it with like 55, 60 hours on. It's got almost 80 now. So we rode her a little bit, cleaned her up a couple times, but I've only had it out 3 or 4 times yet this year. Fun fact on the trailer, I was looking for a trailer. My uncle did give me this tube a few years back to use pulling with my dad's boat. But he sold his boat and it's been laying around, so we used it last year a couple times. It worked good. Jet ski, for the size of it, made good weight. It was a blast. River was low, but we still had fun. I guess next up, we got the jet ski, the motorcycle, the truck, and the Dart Yet. We'll go to the motorcycle. We'll just go through a history on that. I had I don't remember what year it was, like an 01 Honda Shadow that I bought back in late 20, or is it 21? I bought a Shadow and I rode that. It was a 600, I believe, so it didn't have really any power. If I was on the 4-lane going up hills or anything, it was barely keeping 60. It was embarrassing to ride. If I was bombing around locally on the county roads, I just rode it wide open, 80 everywhere I went. It was just, it had no power, so I sold that. Got rid of it. Next spring, I bought a Kawasaki Z800 after riding the buddies, and he just hooked me right away. Got my tax return. Had money saved up, said, fuck it, I'm going. Bought it. That bike, I love that bike. Wish I would have never sold it, but I did. Then after the Z800, was that 22, July or August of 22, I bought a Harley. And it was, I believe it was an 07 or 08 Sportster. And it was all right. It was getting me into the Harley world, but it was a Sportster. It rode, your knees were always up in your chest. It's just, for a guy, it's not a good bike. I would say I don't personally think a guy should buy a Harley Sportster. So I traded that in for the Z900. Up next, we got, what year is this? I don't remember. 21. Ski-Doo 600 MXZ snowmobile. It's a 129 track. But my reasoning for getting this is I had a Polaris XCSP 700, fast snowmobile, but it was like an 05, I believe. It was an 05. And fun snowmobile for bombing around ditches locally, but I went to the UP with my cousin and a couple buddies, and it was a blast, but I was constantly putting fuel in, constantly putting oil in, and they put oil in once a day, maybe every 2 days. So I just felt like a buffoon. Everybody up there had brand new sleds. I didn't. I was the one guy up there on an old sled. It was goofy. I still had fun. Still did all what they did. But I felt I should upgrade to a more reliable sled, and this one hasn't given me any issues. So same as with everything else. I feel like I got an alright deal on it at the time anyway. I don't remember, it's got, I don't remember how many miles on it, 5,000 miles on it, maybe 6. She's got miles on it, a couple. You took it up to the UP every year. They'd come in every couple years, buy new snowmobiles, but the only thing I've done to this one is I threw on some cheap underglow real quick, so it looks kind of cool in the snow. Added these hand guards because I'm a pussy, I get cold easily. So these were gonna be my hand saver when I went to the UP, or when we got enough snow, but I got them on too late. Got them on after the snow that we got when we got 2 feet this year. But hopefully this winter I'll get to try them out. Otherwise, it was an alright buy. They told me they went through it, but the limiter strap wasn't even on the damn thing, so that was a lie. So they gave me a new one, but they lied to me. So that is what it is. Still been an alright sled. So I bought this in January last year, or was it January, February, something like that. And then in the fall last year, like September, up near La Crosse, I bought a snowmobile trailer too, 2-place. It was run down. If you're interested, I'll show you that sometime. But that's all I got for the snowmobile at this time. We'll get her out this winter though. Up next is the 2019 Ram 1500 I bought. I bought that back in November of 22. I was working a job, first job, steady income, solid hours. I was like, all right, I want a nice truck. I had one truck. I had a 2000 F-150, but that fucker went to the junkyard. So for a few years I was without a truck. I really wanted another one, so I bought a 2019 Ram 1500. So this is what I bought. When I first bought it, didn't have any window tint, so it was fishbowl. You're riding around in fishbowl all day. It had street tires on it. The nose was dipped down a lot. So first thing I did within a few days of having the thing, got rid of the street tires. Buddy cut me a deal on some. Threw on some Falcon Wild Peaks for me. Great tire. I've had them on for 25,000 miles now. They still got some life left in them. I'm gonna run them for a little while longer. It came with tonneau cover on the back. I did have a buddy put on window tint for me. He put 5% all the way around and 50 on the windshield. And the front's actually meter at 2, and the back, the meter's gonna read it, so basically 0%. And when I had him do my rear window, I had him throw on this flag for me, just, you know, firefighter, something like that. It did come with the tonneau cover, and let me tell you, I use that all the time. So when I bought this thing, it had 36,000 miles on it. Now it has 59,683 miles. So I put a few miles on it. We took it up to the UP on our snowmobile trip, so I actually pulled the whole trip all the way there and back. And it was a fun time. Truck did all right. We only got like 10 miles a gallon the whole way up there though, pulling a 24-foot trailer with a half-ton. Wasn't the weight. I guess it was the weight literally, but it towed all right. Just being a Laramie, she squatted quite a bit. But story was, an old guy owned it before me, and he specifically ordered it with a CD player in it, which is cool, I guess, coming from the CD days. I did buy a couple just to see what it's like. It's got AM, FM, satellite. It's got climate control, heated ventilated seats. The ventilated seats are awesome. And the cool thing is the rear seats, they actually slide out. Oh, where is it? Yeah, there it is. So they'll actually pull out to the point where now you can recline in the back seat versus being sat up straight like that seat is. And then in the end, it's got the typical, underneath the floor mat there, it's got the Ram cubbies on both sides. I usually just keep like ratchet straps in there, toe straps, my hitches, stuff like that. That way it ain't rolling around on the floor, banging around. Otherwise though, nice truck. Add in some firefighter lights because I am a firefighter, and I wanted lights because we think they're cool. And then one cool thing it does have though is a drop down tailgate. If I push that button, it'll drop the tailgate. So I really like that feature. Otherwise, that's all I got for the Laramie. If you want to see more and get a cold start sometime, let me know. We can make that happen. So the last car on the list was the Dodge Dart. I bought this back in 2020, February 5th, with 19,500 miles on it. It's now got 107,000 miles on it. I've done that in a matter of what, 4.5 years. So to say we drove the piss out of this thing is an understatement. I have put it through hell. I've driven it like it was a race car, because I treated it was my race car. So I averaged 30,000 miles a year driving, lots of driving. It's on the second set of tires since I've owned it. Well, it's actually on its third. I've put my second set of tires on it. They're General Ultimax tires. Never heard of them before, but the tire guy said they were good. Said there's 75,000 mile tires on them. I never get mileage out of tires because of the way I drive, but we'll see what happens. It's been a good car to me though. I've only done all the wheel bearings, all of the brake pads and rotors all the way around. Only did the front struts in it and sway bar links in the front. Actually, the rear have never been changed and they're still good. Boggles my mind on the difference there, what's going on. Otherwise though, it's been a great car. I've done nothing to the motor, nothing crazy. I've really just driven the piss out of it. Interior's clean. It's literally giving me no issues. It's got some dents, some dings in it from just being driven, over the years. But this is the car I've done literally nothing to. It's crazy. Besides just general maintenance, oil changes and stuff that I caused to break, not because the car was a piece of junk, just because of the way I drive. So I mean, overall, it's been a great car for me. I wouldn't ever get rid of it. I will drive this thing until it falls apart, basically rusts out. And the 2016 Dart, so it's 8 years old and it doesn't have any rust on it. Boggles my mind. Boggles my mind. There is a funny backstory on it. If you want to hear that, just go ahead, leave a comment, send me a message, whatever. I'll make a video on the story, give you the lowdown on that. Maybe if you want some more details on the car, some of what it's got, some of what it ain't got, I can give you that. So just like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.